Hey everyone, and welcome. Today, we're going to talk about something you feel every single day, but maybe can't quite put your finger on: the soul of our cities. We're going to explore those invisible forces, the feelings and memories that make a place totally unique.
All right, so let me start by asking you something. What is it that makes your city feel like, well, your city? I mean, we throw around phrases like the Cairo character or the Alexandrian spirit, right? But what do those actually mean? What's that sensory nerve that makes a place stick with you?
Well, to really get to the bottom of that, we have to stop thinking about cities as just, a bunch of buildings and streets. Let's imagine them as living, breathing organisms. Each one has its own unique pulse, its own sensory nerve that connects every single person who lives there in this kind of shared experience.
And that shared experience, it actually has a name. It's called place identity. Now, what's so cool about this is that it's not really about the famous landmarks you see on a postcard. It's way deeper. It's a complex emotional system. Think about it. It's made up of the stories we all share, the paths we walk every single day, the symbols we all just get, and even the unique sounds and smells that instantly make us feel like we're home.
Okay, so if it's an emotional system, what are the actual pieces? What's it made of? Let's break this big idea down into 4 key parts. These are like the clues to finding a city's soul.
First up, you've got collective memory. These are the stories that get passed down from our grandparents, the shared history that everyone knows. Then there are our daily practices. This is the simple stuff, right? Your commute, your trip to the local market, all those little routines that together literally weave the fabric of the city. Then, of course, you have emotional symbols, those landmarks that mean something special to everyone. And finally, the sensory soundscape. That's the rhythm of the city, the specific sounds and even smells that you just don't find anywhere else.
Okay, so we've got the components down, but how does that deep emotional connection between a person and a place actually get built over time? How does it all come together?
It really boils down to 3 big things. First, there's historical accumulation. Just imagine a place like Al-Manshea in Alexandria. It's not just a collection of buildings, right? It's layer upon layer of history, and each one adds this new emotional texture. Second is our daily sensory interaction, your favorite coffee shop, the park you walk through every day. And third, and this one's a big one, is shared crises. When a community goes through something tough together, it creates this incredibly powerful, resilient bond and identity.
So, enough with the theory for a second. Let's see how this all plays out in the real world. We're going to take a look at 3 amazing case studies from the Arab world, and each one has a totally different emotional signature.
First up, Riyadh. The identity here is anything but accidental. It's been very carefully crafted around a feeling of organized luxury, and maybe even more importantly, a kind of controlled emotion.
So what really defines Riyadh is this foundation of symmetry and order. You see these huge, sweeping spaces that are specifically designed to make you feel a sense of power and control. What's so masterful is how it's become this major global hub, while at the same time intentionally holding on to a very specific emotional core.
All right, next, let's head over to Dubai. This is a city where the entire identity seems to be engineered around one single, powerful emotion: the feeling that absolutely any dream is achievable.
I mean, Dubai's identity is all about making the impossible possible. Building islands out of the sea, skyscrapers that seem to touch the sky. The whole point is to create this constant sense of wonder and excitement. It blends this over-the-top global luxury with a real, genuine local hospitality. It's a city that just feels like the future is happening right now.
And for our last example, let's look at Casablanca. This city has a completely different emotional rhythm. Its identity is all about this beautiful, seamless flow between its deep, rich heritage and its vibrant, modern energy.
What's so incredible here is that Casablanca's identity almost feels like a conversation. You can see this emotional dialogue happening between the traditional Moroccan architecture and the international styles. It creates a place that feels deeply connected to both the Atlantic and the Mediterranean. And it manages to strike this really delicate balance between this open, public life and a very cherished sense of privacy. But here's the thing. These unique, incredibly rich identities that we've just been talking about, they're actually facing a very real modern threat, a danger that could literally erase the very soul of our cities.
And that threat has a name: emotional homogenization. Basically, it's the process where cities just start to feel the same, where all that unique sensory diversity that makes life so interesting gets flattened out into this generic, predictable, and kind of boring landscape. Think about it like this. On one side, you have a city with its own distinct memories, its own sounds and smells, and authentic public spaces. All of this creates a rich emotional variety. But on the other side, you have a city that's defined by the same generic global brands, the same identical shopping malls, the same standardized airports. What we lose in that trade-off is that incredible variety. And what do we get instead? Emotional monotony.
So, what's the answer? How do we fight back and protect the souls of our cities? Well, the solution lies in a pretty fundamental shift in how we think about urban planning itself.
I absolutely love this quote from the source material because it just nails this shift perfectly. The urban planner is no longer just a distributor of services, but an engineer of emotions. The job isn't just about zoning and infrastructure anymore. The modern planner has to be someone who designs for feelings, not just for function.
And this new role, it comes with some really big new responsibilities, like preserving emotional memory by protecting the places that mean something to people, but also facilitating new memories by designing spaces where new stories can actually happen. It means guiding urban change with sensitivity and creating a sense of cohesion, linking all of a city's different neighborhoods together with a shared feeling.
When you get right down to it, a city's true value isn't just its economic output, it's its emotional richness. See, a strong place identity builds loyalty and a sense of belonging, and that becomes an incredibly powerful social and cultural asset. That right there is the heart of what's now being called the emotional economy.
And that brings us right back to you, and right back to where we started. So I'll leave you with this to think about. What are the specific sensory details, the emotional symbols, that make your city unique? And now that you know what you're looking for, how can we all play a part in preserving them? Thanks so much for joining me.